Welcome to a rare non-how-made Michael H video. This one I'm recording because something really recent and interesting has happened, and I feel like that Paul Revere image of the guy on the horse running into town, ringing the bell, alerting people that something has happened. You already know what it is because you saw the video title. There's been a Wikipedia article created under my name. That is something I did not expect. I feel like there's something a little surreal and weird about it. But before we get into that, BFDI finally has a Wikipedia page. I haven't made a video about that, but I feel like I ought to. So yeah, for the very first time, we have one of these info boxes, and I think, that's so cool. You usually see those for historical figures, right? You see the Battle of Stalingrad, the two opposing sides that were running toward each other, which one was the victor, right? I feel like this is a wartime situation, but no, instead, it's a battle situation. But moving on from the info box, this I feel is pretty crazy because it just feels like this whole article just spawned out of existence. It's spawned fully formed, but I know that isn't what actually happened. I think there's, a whole long, protracted conversation and battle leading up to this, so I just want to say thank you to the Wikipedia editors and moderators, to the people who were sort of campaigning for this to exist. Well, you've succeeded, and the existence of this article is proof that you've won, and I want to give you your deserved props. Also, to the Wikipedia moderators, I hope we can be on peaceful terms because I also want to give my condolences for maybe the annoyance you felt over the years from all of the article deleting and recreating that's happened. Now, finally, it deserves one, it meets the requirements, and we have an article like our viewers seem to think we should. I mean, to be honest, there's not a whole lot to react to because I kind of already know this info. Right? Like, duh, it's about anthropomorphic objects. Like, tell me something I don't know. The writers of this are doing a really good job of introducing this to the outside world. I feel like I'm getting the whole rundown of the rules of the universe of BFDI. That was one thing I wasn't sure, if there are a lot of maybe viewers who are writing it. Do they know how much someone who hasn't ever seen the show knows about recovery centers and the names of characters? Well, now it's answered. Even though characters often die in ways that reflect how their real-life counterparts would be destroyed, they can be resurrected via machines called recovery centers. I'm glad you laid it out there. You know how science fiction has influenced real life? The idea of audio being recorded existed before audio could be recorded. This is a step toward real-life recovery centers happening. Imagine if after you passed away, after a tragic accident happened, you could still wake up and your inventory, this is like a real life keep inventory. If only real life could be a little bit more like fiction. Also, I'm really liking the citations this has. It's a little bit surreal to see someone talking about the show and then there's real hard evidence that this actually happened. Look at that. MLA cited, fully ready for you to put into your university essay. That's something I didn't even realize would happen. Now you know where you can find the articles to put at the bottom of your dissertation for university. If we start seeing some scholarly papers, then we can thank this article. All right, I'm already loving this section of the article because in this season overview, we already have signs that there's not just one article, there's multiple. So, now that the floodgates are open, I'm really liking what the Wikipedia editors of the BFDI world have decided to add. What you guys are capable of. This is good. These are things I didn't even know about the show, our own show itself. All laid out in front of us. The fact that there's seasons that are split in two parts and took place at different times across the years. After seeing this table, I feel like I have more questions. I feel like I don't even know the show. And look at this. This is the humble beginnings. This is the whole creation section of the article that I always love when Wikipedia articles have. When you're hearing about some movie that was like being pitched by writers and then the studios didn't want it, so they had to hand it off to other writers and it was originally about something completely different. We finally get to have one of those. So, this is, again, really surreal and really cool. I'm so thankful for it. This is good. Had to create a fake catalog for an algebra class. It was a comic about rock, paper, scissors, how it could be improved. This is all true so far. I'm really liking how this is being depicted because, usually you see someone writing about the topic that you are the closest to and you feel like, oh, it's not accurate because I'm the one who can scrutinize it the most. I feel like it has all passed the test of truth. And yeah, I feel like it really sort of lays out how I feel we both added to the show in the beginning, which is Carrie had the writing and the vision and I wanted to bring in the visual style and the animation. So I'm really liking this article so far. Great. Well, the rest you all know what happened. Yada, yada, yada. We'll scroll down. And I think I'm maybe just putting off the one part that I'm a little bit nervous about, which is the article in question in the title of this video, but we'll get to that. And yeah, that's crazy. There's, people writing about it. There's writers' names. So that's why I want to thank Russ Burlingame, It feels like a really rare privilege to be able to have someone hold the microphone to you and have you just talk about yourself and what you've been doing and have it actually end up in an article of some sort. Wonderful article. Now we're reaching, the dregs, the bottom little bits and bobs, but I really like how it says pronounced Jack and Jellyfy here, because that is wrong. It's pronounced Jack and Jellyfy. Wonderful. Once again, these are all the sources that you can plop right into your university essay, write your dissertation about BFDI, and scholarly citations, MLA cited, and then finally further reading. I love this. This is all literature that you can all take in. The BFDI character guide. What a classic. ISBN number. That's good. Maybe one day you can run down to your library and flip through the books with the Dewey Decimal System and find the BFDI character guide. And this is my favorite part, that someone has already read out the article. They've already given it the audiobook treatment.
Battle for Dream Island, abbreviated BFDI, is an animated web series created by brothers Michael and Carrie Huang. Episodes and other related media of the series are posted on their YouTube channel.
Gold star for the surname pronunciation. You have nailed it. So I want to say thank you to this guy who I know is quite a prolific article voicer. Imagine an episode of BFDI starts with this audio. You click on the episode thumbnail and this plays.
Battle for Dream Island, from Wikipedia, the free.
That's the way an episode needs to start. Beautiful. Well, thank you, Mr. IRDM. I think this is really dramatically magical, what you're doing. Somebody hire this guy as an announcer, as a narrator for more audiobooks, more movie trailers. All right, well, there we go. Call this BFDIpedia, but this is the whole body of work of you wonderful BFDI viewers who have created and worked on these articles. I want to thank you guys again. If you forgot that I'm thankful for it, well, I want to reiterate that the fact that these 3 articles exist is the result of your hard work, your debating skills, and also the reporters who created the articles. Beautiful. Well, with that said, we have one more article to get through before we dive into the most important bit that I'm really nervous about how it's going to look. Let's keep stalling and head to the list of episodes. Oh my god, every single episode has a synopsis written. There's a whole tome. Where are the citations now? That is seriously impressive. Someone has gone out of their way to bring the events of the show into the world of Wikipedia. So thank you for bringing knowledge to the masses. But man, imagine this person did it from memory. Wouldn't that be impressive? They're like, oh, well, what happened in episode 22 of BFB? Who did steal Donut's diary? And this guy just automatically already knows. Now that would be a real skill. And there we have it. Another article. You can't have it on this website without the references, the primary sources. And now finally, with much ado, we enter into the article I am still so curious about. This one is blue and this one isn't. I don't know how that happened. Crazy. Imagine, well, okay, I guess I'm not the only Michael Huang out there. I have to admit, they had to clarify. Michael Huang Animator. That's good. I'm liking that name. That's my real surname. We've got Michael Bublé. Now we have Michael Animator. Look at that. Find sources. News, newspapers, JSTOR. Shout out to the college community. Oh my god. They got the character. I don't even know what the characters are. I couldn't write them myself. That's crazy. Both traditional and simplified. Wonderful. Now if I want to know, oh my god, they've got the music name. Imagine being in that position. If you didn't know how to write your name, you can just look it up on Wikipedia and then just copy the text that's at the first line of the article. Michael Yiming Huang, also known by his pseudonym Yo-Yo Cake, is an American YouTuber animated web series Battle for Dream Island. Well, thank you, writer. That's going to be on my tombstone now. I'm still so curious what articles are possibly making up the citations for this. Where are all of these references coming from? Yeah, early life and education. This is just reading a Wikipedia article about someone where they've got the early life section, then they've got the early career, Maybe they have the death section. We'll wait a few decades for that. htwins.net. This is lovely. One thing I wanted to also address is that there's so many really cool people who have made really significant, important stuff, and if you type in their name into Wikipedia, it takes you to a section of another Wikipedia article, and I feel like that's a little demeaning. Like, it's like you were only exist as part of another topic. And, you know, my condolences go out to all of those people in that situation. What's going to happen when another article is created, when my brother's article is created? You know, is all this info going to stay there, or is it all going to migrate? Are we going to see the exodus of information from the Michael article? Beautiful signature. I mean, I guess that's one way I have signed it, but I want to say to the teachers at my elementary school, sorry, but the way that you've taught cursive, it did not go to use in the signature. This is the era of block letter writing. You just have to live with it, deal with it, and move on. Beautiful. There you've got a beefy 3 subheadings. I'm satisfied. They've got the International Phonetic Alphabet and a wonderful 12 references. That is so interesting that people are finding articles I've never even heard of. Twins host web games. This is crazy. This is my high school. This is a little bit scary. Wonderful. Yeah, this is really weird knowing that this article existed this whole time. I'm gonna say shout out to No Walking No Problem. What a genius game. That's the original Getting Over It by Bennett Foddy. We need an apology from Bennett, giving credit to the real source material. And they've got a quote from me. I don't even remember saying these words, but here they are. They created an animated series called Battle for Dream Island, also known as BFGI. And yeah, it probably was more work than all the games combined. Wonderful. This is cool. This is like a time capsule of, you know, what it is like to be a twin hosting a web game in the year of 2013. Well, thank you to Joan Harris. Maybe I just forgot that you did that, but wonderful. So that's The Claw. This is so interesting. Yay, yeah, no, there's me standing in front of the field of my hometown middle school. A very old photo, but I don't mind it at all. With my really old Canyon Deshay t-shirt. This is the old version. I owned 2 versions of this t-shirt. The second version, it had a teal crew neck around it, so I'm already piecing together when this photo was taken. And there's sweat stains on it. Lovely. This, very cool. I'm learning things about myself that I didn't even know happened. So there we go. So I was also really nervous about seeing this article because I showed this to my friend Alex and I said, don't tell me anything about it because I don't want anything spoiled. I want to go into this fresh with no knowledge of what even the writers decided to put into this article. And he said to me that there's one thing that I have a suspicion about and I'm going to ask you about it after you've reacted to it. What could he have possibly sussed out from this article? There we go. It's so fun to have your own info box. There's so much room to add more sections. Incarceration, convictions, that's for later. Oh, I skipped completely over the warning about this article. This is a little bit nerve-wracking. Well, it was good while it lasted. Sayonara to this article. An editor has nominated this article for deletion. It may not meet Wikipedia's general notability guideline. Of course, I want Wikipedia to be free of outside meddling. I want to be a little bit hands-off with this. But I will say, please keep this article. Please don't let it get deleted. Please, can I join the game, please? But, you know, if you must, then go ahead and do it. Either way, this video is going to be a time capsule. It's going to be a snapshot in time when 3 articles existed, and I'm just thankful for this unusual situation where my article got created first. In a way, in a weird way, I feel like I can die peacefully now. I feel like that is the milestone that I feel like maybe our mark has been left in the world. We have our own info box. What more could you want? And it keeps going. These are the images that now we are getting into the world of Wikimedia Commons, where it also has a page too. This is good. This is going to be the hub of all images related to the show. But with that said, I want to give my thanks to some of these people who gave us a chance and decided to reach out and do an interview, because now this is what has kind of really led to the article existing. It's really the sources being there, meeting the notability guidelines. So I want to thank Hein Kaiser. I mean, the original way that we got in contact, he's the guy at The Citizen South Africa who first emailed me to do the interview, and the only reason it happened was because some plush toy from our store, got caught in some shipping error. Thanks to the customer support and to just the emails going back and forth, we got in contact. But yeah, I actually was on this summer's 2025 BFDI and II tour when this came out, so I was a little occupied when it came out. I need to actually email him and tell him thank you for making sure that this got out, because this is pretty beefy. It's a pretty beefy article. Thank you for all of the detail you've put into it. Also, I'm really liking the colorful language, where characters like Leafy and Fiery jostled for popularity. I don't think I've seen that verb used in the show. So props to you for originality and your wide vocabulary. And also I want to say thank you to Amanda Pirelli for going out on a limb, coming to the event and writing about it. I remember when this article came out, it didn't quite meet the guidelines, but now it's another drop in the pond, a drop in the bucket. And then also I want to say thank you to Russ Burlingame at Comics Beat, The Beat. See, unlike my Wikipedia article, this Comics Beat is the only one. It's The Beat. There's no parentheses afterward. It is unapologetically itself. I remember he originally reached out to me because his kids are into the show, which, you know, that's such a lovely, sweet thing to do. So hopefully they enjoy coming to the screening, to the Teapot 20 theater event. And then, yeah, there are other articles I don't really know as much about, but clearly a person went out of their way to decide that this was notable enough for them to write about, so I want to say thank you for that. Thank you to John Schwartz. Another very random shout out I want to say thanks about is a little bit out of nowhere. I did not expect a Battle for Dream Island name drop here, so thank you, Rosie. Thank you, Clay. I won't let that go unappreciated. With that said, I also want to touch on how this article almost also got deleted too because of that pesky request for deletion that happened. I don't know if it was really ever in any risk of going through, but it continues on my page. So hopefully the moderators give it the wave of approval and this page can stay. Because I mean, there is a lot of unique info on here. I was going to say that I'd be satisfied with a stub. You know, it doesn't have to be a long one. But yeah, okay, it's starting to feel a little narcissistic looking at our own Wikipedia page. So with that, I will say thank you again to Wikipedia, to the editors, to the moderators. Thank you to the contributors for making it all happen. You know what would be really scary is if this became blue, this became red, and then if you went to the Michael page, it redirected you to Carrie. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Well, I guess now that our reaction's done, we can talk about things that are coming up. First of all, thank you for 100,000 subscribers. That is a crazy milestone, and it's still such a novel feeling to know that it reached that point. Finally, I get to have that plaque, so thank you guys for tuning in and sticking around. When you see 3 digits, you know it's there to stay. That's not really true. I could delete this at any time, but let's pretend that that's not going to happen, because I won't. And then secondly, I'll say in other news, I'm really excited for this upcoming movie screening that's going to happen with BFDIA 23. Thank you to the hard work and genius contributions of the entire BFDIA crew. Thank you especially to Joseph Pack, for pulling this all together. And hopefully I'll see you folks at one of the locations. I'll be using a very powerful telescope to make sure that I can make eye contact with every single attendee of every one of those locations across the country. Some other things to look forward to include, I've done some voice acting recently for BFDI, where I'm putting on a new voice. I'm not going to say any more than that, but a new voice of mine is going to debut in a matter of time. So get your internal gears grinding with that. To close this video off, some new social media accounts that I've created that if you'd like to follow me on other platforms, you can do so. I've reactivated my Instagram account, so you can find that at michael.y.h. All of these accounts are some permutation, some mutation of Michael H. Just ignore the fact that they're all extremely different from one another. On Pinterest, this is an interesting one, Michael YHH. That's because we're the H twins, that's why. So those are 4 new platforms you can find me on. If you can follow me on these, I'd be really thankful. But also, I will warn you, maybe don't anticipate new unique content on each platform. Maybe just pick the one platform that you use the most and find my short form videos on that platform, because you will see overlap between the videos that are posted there. But now there are more ways to find me, so go ahead and follow me there. With that said, thank you for watching this non-How Made Michael H video. This has been a very historic moment, so I'm glad that you've joined me for this endeavor, and I will see you in the next one.